Hi, I'm Jeff Vogel for BuzzTV Network News Analysis, carried on Treasure Coast affiliate channel 1098 BuzzTV, on Comcast Xfinity cable in Indian River County, and seen on the Treasure Coast in 60,000 homes and businesses north from Mico, south to Fort Pierce. This week's topics for discussion on our news analysis include coronavirus on the Treasure Coast, Megyn Kelly and Gone with the Wind, Statues of Limitations and Tucker Carlson, and Indian River County Good News Department. We'll close out with that. On the Treasure Coast this past week in Indian River County, speaking of the Treasure Coast and the coronavirus that continues to spread here, this past Friday, the Indian River County Emergency Management Crew held their weekly coronavirus update for the county, and that was officiated by Brian Sullivan, the Indian River County Legislative Affairs and Communications Manager. He introduced County Administrator Jason Brown. Jason brought with him again this week to the coronavirus update his 6-foot pole. And he's using this to demonstrate that the 6 feet social distancing that we all should be following is a greater distance than most of us really visualize in our minds. And 6 feet is actually quite a good distance. It's the length of 2 yardsticks, and most of us are not maintaining that social distancing. And this in particular, when you're out shopping, it's almost impossible not to have to pass by people. Most grocery stores now, they're doing one lane in one direction, but still, if someone stops in the middle, it's difficult to get around. So that social distancing is very important, and Jason Brown wanted to reiterate how important that is. He also wore a mask this week for the first time. These weekly coronavirus updates for Indian River County have been going on now for the past 2 to 3 months on a nonstop basis. The county chose not to have one last week, and there was no explanation for why they did not choose to have one. But the purpose of the press conferences each Friday is one, to stream that press conference live on the county's channels, but also to allow for the press to attend. There are really only about 3 or 4 of us that attend each week from the media in Indian River County. And so it's important, in order to reach those 3 or 4 media outlets that are predominant, such as BuzzTV Network in Indian River County, that the county hold those press conferences each Friday. Last week they did not give an explanation as to why. It's understandable that from an administrative perspective that everyone may be getting kind of tired of doing it each week and saying the same thing over and over again. Stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, wear a mask. They've been saying it week after week, and so perhaps last week they just got themselves just a little bit set in their minds, since everything seems to be opening now. The public perception is that the coronavirus is no longer a threat. That actually is completely untrue and contrary to science. So we'll talk more about that. This was the first week that Jason Brown, Indian River County Administrator, wore a mask. In past weeks, we have had other members presenting. Miranda Hawker, for example, generally arrives and wears a mask except when actually giving her presentation in order to be understood better. However, there was no problem understanding the two speakers on Friday with their masks on, and the point they were trying to make was that the perception is very important. We don't want to let our guards down, and we don't want to think because everything is open and you can do everything that you should do everything. We'll talk more about that when we come back from this break. You're watching BuzzTV Network News Analysis. I'm Jeff Vogel.